Welcome to the Success with Jewelry podcast, where we invite you inside our conversations about business success and marketing for jewelry designers and entrepreneurs.
We're Laryssa and Liz, jewelry marketing experts with a combined 16 years of experience in jewelry marketing and proven track records in helping jewelry brands meet their goals. When you listen to or watch this podcast, you get an intimate and exclusive peek behind the curtain of all the things you wish you could know about earning success in this industry.
Welcome to episode 23. In this episode, Laryssa and I will be sharing an introduction to email marketing. More specifically, why email marketing is so important, how to get started with email marketing, what makes a good email. We also want to tell you about our insider community. When you join, for only $20 a month, you'll have access to extended episodes full of tips that you can start implementing today and further resources about each topic we discuss. To gain access to this exclusive content, sign up by visiting successwithjewelry.com. Hey Laryssa, let's get into it.
Let us talk about email marketing, one of the only digital marketing platforms today that you can call your owned land rather than rented land. And what does that mean, Liz?
So you don't own your Instagram followers. You don't own your social media followers. We all know that social media could disappear tomorrow. So having control of your contact list, owning your contacts is so important, and you can do that with an email list.
Yes. And I don't know if any of you listening or watching follow social media news, but there's been like a ton of buzz about TikTok and how it might even be banned in the US, and even government agencies, government-run universities are banning the use of TikTok from their public Wi-Fi networks. So this is a really hot topic, and it's something you should not ignore.
And we all remember those 24 hours that Facebook and Instagram were down. I think it was about a year ago or within the past year. I don't really remember, but that's a really good reason that you should be considering email marketing. Also, a social media platform could get purchased by Elon Musk. So there are so many things that can happen with social media networks that having an email list is the best way to be in control of your list and your contacts, but also in control of how your audience sees your content and how frequently. Because we know with social media algorithms, sometimes you post something and only 10% of your audience sees it. With email marketing, you can be more certain that when you send an email, it ends up in your end consumer's inbox.
It also gives you access, or email gives you access to a wealth of data about behavior related to how people are shopping your e-commerce site that you are simply not going to get from social media unless you're specifically running paid advertising campaigns. And for me, even when I'm auditing brands in my business, I just had someone ask me this the other day, why aren't you looking at my data from Meta to get a sense of how all of my e-commerce marketing is performing, and instead I'm just looking at their email marketing, because that to me is where the gold mine of information is. And yeah, of course, social media is important. It needs to kind of function on its own. You need to be keeping up your presence there, but email is a more direct funnel to the purchase.
Definitely. So email marketing is really, really important. It's something everyone should be considering adding to their 2023 strategy. Let's talk a little bit about how to get started with email marketing. And the first thing you need to do is choose a provider. And I love MailChimp. I think that's a great place to start. It's free up till a certain point, and it's a great option for you. Another great option is Klaviyo, which links really well if you have a Shopify website.
Yeah, Klaviyo integrates beautifully with Shopify. I definitely recommend that. And I think this might be obvious to some, but to others it's not. Why is it important to actually have an email marketing platform, and in some cases have to pay the subscription for it? Well, you don't want to be sending emails just from your business email directly to your customers, because it violates the what is it called? The Federal Communication Guidelines around how businesses can communicate with their customers. You can't put an unsubscribe link in there. It just sending email through the platform ensures you're following all the rules, you're doing everything according to the book. And also, if you're doing it through just an email address, you're missing out on all the rich data that you would get if you're going through an email platform, which is like the ultimate gold that you're looking for.
Yes, definitely. So find a platform that feels really good for you. Another one that both Laryssa and I have been using with clients recently is Flowdesk. It's really user friendly. So if you're struggling with MailChimp or Klaviyo and in actually designing emails, check out Flowdesk. Try them out. See which one feels really good for you. So with your email marketing, when you're getting started with any new marketing strategy, the first thing you need to do is know your audience, right, Laryssa?
Yes, knowing your audience is the most important thing when you're trying to figure out what an effective email is going to look like for them, because you need to know how to speak their language, when to send the emails to best reach them. Like, are they looking at the emails on their smartphone, on a tablet, on a desktop? What's the type of storytelling or content or topics that they're going to love? So those things are really going to help you make the most effective email possible.
And second to that is to really know your brand and be clear on what your voice is, what your key messaging is, and all of those things, because you want your email to feel very on brand and very much in alignment with what you're doing on social media and what your website looks like. And that is how it's going to be really effective, if you're speaking to your audience and you're remaining really on brand. So another thing you want to do before you start an email marketing strategy is set goals for yourself. So you want to set goals around the actual email marketing. So what kind of click rate are you looking for? How many people are you trying to add to your email list? So you want to think about goals around that, but you also want to think about goals in what you want to be promoting, how it's going to align with your bigger strategy. Maybe you want more people to be looking at your fine jewelry collection, so you're going to plan ahead to have a series of emails that focus on that to drive traffic to your fine jewelry page or like to see your new collection. When you're setting up an email marketing strategy, I don't want you to just listen to this and be like, Liz and Laryssa are saying I need to send an email. I'm going to send an email. I want you to put a plan in place and think ahead and think more big picture, so that you're looking at the next 6 months of what you're going to be saying to your audience and making sure it's telling a consistent story and all working together.
Yeah, and if it helps you with that, think of email as a service, kind of just how we've talked about sales as a service too. So instead of just like checking the box that you did this because this is what you're supposed to do for your marketing, consider, how can I provide a service to my customers with this email? How can I provide added value that they wouldn't otherwise get from interacting with the brand? And that can really help you stand out and be aligned with your brand voice.
And something that's really helpful is creating reusable templates. And I find this to be really helpful for me when I'm creating emails for brands, because every time I go to do an email, I don't have to start from scratch. So when you're getting started, when you're playing around with whatever platform you choose to use, I would set up templates. I love the idea of doing a more product focused, simple template, and a template that's a little bit more of a newsletter style. Then you can just duplicate it and use it whenever you're going to do your next email. And that'll save you time. It'll make it easier for you to create these emails, which will make it easier for you to stay consistent.
Yeah, and you may be surprised to learn that even the biggest brands that do email marketing use repeatable, reusable templates, not only because it streamlines the process for them and they can send emails more frequently, easily, but because it creates expectations with the subscribers. Like if you were a big brand and you were sending emails daily and every email looked wildly different, you would probably confuse a lot of your subscribers. So it helps people just get in the habit of being able to scan, find what they want or need, and click through to the website.
Yes. And something else that I think is really helpful is signing up for emails from like-minded brands. And I'd encourage you to look outside of the jewelry industry and just brands you love, brands that feel like have a similar audience to you. Sign up for their email list and see kind of how frequently they're reaching out to their audience, what kind of topics they're covering in their emails, how it's aligning with their social media and what's on their website. You can learn a lot from looking at things like this.
Yes, and if you don't want to flood your inbox with a bunch of promotional emails, there's actually a great resource that I love called Milled, Milled. That's like a database of email campaigns from all kinds of brands, and you can follow brands or see the history of their email marketing. So that's a good place to find inspiration, see like trends in email, see how brands are speaking to their customers, how often brands are emailing. It's just a really good place to go for that.
And something else to just think about with your emails is that the goal of your emails, the ultimate goal, outside of your other goals that you're trying to achieve, is to get people to your website. So it's just another funnel and way to get people to your website.
Yes, you don't want people staying on the email. So that should encourage you to like not agonize too much about it. Agonize about what is the call to action you're going to use to get someone to take a next step, rather than like making it into a masterpiece that you expect people to spend a lot of time on, because they're just not going to.
Yeah, I find when I'm writing emails, and we're going to get into what makes a really good email, sometimes I will get stuck because for some reason hitting post on a social media post feels a lot easier than hitting send on an email because you can't undo it. So I sometimes find myself really like reviewing an email a lot of different, like over and over again, and like playing around with the subject line and all of that. But remember, it's really important to be sending emails. It's a way to get people to your website. It's another way to connect with your audience. So it's really important. I totally understand getting stuck in the details, but power through.
I like that. Power through.
Power through. And that was just kind of a tangent there that was not in our notes. So let's get into what makes a good email. So first and foremost, and this is another thing that should be really comforting to you, keep it clear and concise. You don't need to write a novel. You don't need to have a hugely long email. You don't even need like a beautifully designed, like overly edited email. I love a really simple email. And I think a great example of this is Tiffany & Co. I know we talk about them every week, but I shared them as an example to the Stay Gold Collective over Christmas because, everybody who was like, oh my gosh, I have to keep getting out emails. I have to like do all this marketing, and they were feeling overwhelmed by it. And I was like, Tiffany & Co. is tired too, because they had sent out this email that was so simple. It was essentially just like new product as their subject line. And it was, the body of the text was just like a standard image of one of their pieces. And it was like, click to our website to see our new product. It was so basic and so simple. And I was like, look, Tiffany & Co. is burnt out too. We're all tired. We have to keep going. But anyway, I'm sharing that story because clear and concise, super simple, super straightforward is going to be the most effective email.
That's a really great example, and I think should be comforting, as you said. And when you start following bigger brands, you'll notice that they don't have super sophisticated stuff all the time, just like Liz said. But the point is not to dazzle with the email campaign. The point is to get someone on your site where they will see the product and add to cart and purchase.
Yes. And as much as I love an email that's like written to me and feels really personal as well, you also want to have those really clear and concise emails that are super product focused. And really, you want all of your emails to be very intentional. You want them to have a really clear goal. So as I was saying before, don't just hear this podcast and send an email. Think about the series of emails you're going to be sending and the story you're going to be telling and what you have upcoming in your business over the next 6 months, and plan ahead so that there's a through line and everything feels really consistent. And as I was mentioning, I love I statements. I love emails that speak to your client. So if you are a solopreneur, if your name's on the door, I encourage you to write in I statements and speak to your client. If you're a bigger brand, use third person, but take, an email a month or every couple of months for you, the designer and founder, to show up and speak to your audience using I statements. And then just to kind of talk about organizing an email, you want to open with a hook, then break it down and end with a strong call to action. So for example, we're really excited about our new fine jewelry collection. I want to tell you about what inspired this collection and the pieces that I'm most excited about. Click this link to my website to see the new collection. So that's kind of the structure of an email. You want it to be really well organized, really clear and concise, and then also visually scannable. So rather than writing like a large paragraph, which you can write longer emails, make sure you're breaking down the paragraphs into 2 or 3 sentences and then having a nice line break so somebody can read through it really easily. All right. Are you going to add email marketing to your strategy? Let us know. Again, you can visit successwithjewelry.com to sign up for the extended episode as well as exclusive content. Thank you so much for listening.